We want to say good morning to Crystal Howell because we're also very happy to have her as our expert on hand. Good morning.
Good morning, ladies.
Happy
Good
Monday.
morning.
Happy Monday to you as well.
All right. So Crystal Howell is, of course, a chartered professional accountant, just coming off her accountant's celebration and all that. She's a certified internal auditor as well. So we have been talking a lot about how to manage the finances from just regular personal finance, and we'll get back there very soon. But you also, in the spirit of everybody wanting to get their own little business set up, we have been giving some good advice.
Yes, and the reason I've been going on that line, there are many textbook answers as to how persons can passively invest their income. But Barbados's reality is a bit different, and those opportunities are far and few between. So when we first started off, we would have been talking about budgeting and how to maximize the income that you've been maybe making from your main source of income. However, there are only so many things that you can do with that money. And the reality has become, if you want to increase the income you have and you've exhausted all your options in terms of saving and cutting and thriving, the only other option is to increase the income that you're making. So I've been giving this advice because I'm surrounded by persons who are, everybody's trying to do a side hustle. This is not just something that's in your head. Everywhere you go, somebody's trying to do something on the side. The problem has been that everybody, it gives the good news stories and the successes and everything else, but they don't share the pitfalls and the obstacles to be able to have a successful small business, or you get stuck just feeling as though you can't ever grow because you don't know what you're doing wrong, and you don't have the advantage that the larger companies may have to have a slew of advisors in every single area or aspect of a business. And then when you go for a loan or you try to get additional financing to expand beyond what you're currently doing, you don't have the necessary documentation, or you haven't been thinking strategically about what it is that you want for the future of your business, so that you can move from beyond just having a fish shop or just having a few brushes and painting a few houses. There's so much more people may want to do. They see what is out there, but they don't know how to get from here to there. So I'm hoping that all of the information that I've been sharing has been helping persons to be able to expand their minds and be able to have more information when they go for this financing, that the financial institutions will not be able to just say, okay, you don't understand what it is we need, and they can't hold your hand to be able to say, this is all the things you should be thinking about.
Okay.
I find it fascinating that it is easier to get the bank to give you money for a car
I literally was having this conversation last night.
than it is to start a business.
Yes.
And surely the risk is different.
The risk is different. Usually when you are looking to get a vehicle, most persons would have a steady job and they'll be able to do an assessment based on if you're making 5,000, 3,000, however much a month, and they ask you to fill out your expenses, they can easily look and see, okay, she has enough left back to afford the loan for this vehicle. When you're asking for a business now, many times, like I had a friend, he wanted to write a book, and this was the business idea he was running with. He sat down for so long, over a year, writing this book, finished it, got all excited. He now went to go and get the loan to be able to publish the book, and it was told he needs to have this, that. He's a writer. He does not know what financial plan is, what budget, strategic plan, none of these things are. He didn't know how to be able to articulate himself to say, this is how my book is going to make money so that you can get back your investment. So this is why you have to understand, it's not, yes, they can give loans for vehicles, for mortgages, because assessing the risk is easier, but the difficulty in getting businesses to get a loan, the risk is quite different. And this is why I'm trying to make sure that when persons go to these institutions for these loans, they understand what they need to give to the financial institution,
Right.
so that they can better assess their risk and lend them the money, because Barbados is not going to grow, in my opinion, if businesses stay small. If persons are able to access additional financing to grow their businesses so that they can expand even into markets outside of Barbados. And if some of these small businesses can get their hands into an international market, that grows your population in terms of who you're selling to, in terms of giving opportunities for persons to be able to employ other persons, so that you're not just competing with each other,
Yeah.
but you're building collaborations.
Right, and consistency, I would imagine, is important in terms of what the financial institution is looking at
Yes.
as well, so that they can definitely feel comfortable that you'll be able to pay and maybe even pay more and help you
Exactly.
grow.
Exactly. So I had another friend, and many of the times when you hear me talking, yes, you have the textbook experience as the foundation, but I am using real life examples. So I had a friend, he's a painter, and he wanted to expand his business, and he'd been operating for years, but when he went to the bank, he did not have any of the information that they needed. And he said to me, he knows that he has this information, but he doesn't know how to compile it in a way that they would want,
Right.
or to be able to show that he's been making money. He doesn't even know for sure if he's been making money. He just thinks he has. So then we had to gather all the information that he would have had over the years, start the documentation process, be able to assess, okay, this is how much you're spending on paints, supplies, paying persons to come on and help you with labor. This is what you're charging. Is this enough for you to say this is a sustainable and profitable business? And then when you started to have those conversations is when he realized this is why the bank did not just give me the money that I was asking
You
for.
also have the variables which include you don't know if 3 months down the road people will be painting their houses.
Exactly. So that's another thing we had to be discussing. What are the cycles in your business? At what point in the year do you make a lot of money because persons want this done and that done? At what point you
Seasonal.
then... Exactly.
Right.
People don't understand most businesses are seasonal unless you're a halu.
Food isn't seasonal.
Food is not seasonal. You have to be able to, you're not going to know unless you have the
Yes.
numbers.
Yeah.
And if you keep treating your business like a small business and, oh, I don't need to do all of that, you're going to be stuck in the same place for a very long time. And when things start to get hard and you're struggling, you are not going to know how to get out of it because you do not know where you stand.
So this is Crystal Howell trying to make sure that you put all the things you need to put in place before, so that you have some smooth sailing, and then you can be an example to the next person and so on.
Yes.
And share the
Each one,
information.
each
Share.
one.
People are so afraid of sharing because they're afraid that the person they share with becomes their competition.
Yeah.
But you have to stop saying it that way. There will be persons who do take the information and take advantage of it and not reciprocate. But don't assume everyone is like that.
Right.
Many persons you can build partnerships and collaborations
Absolutely. And competition is often healthy.
with. Yes, it is.
Crystal, we appreciate this. We've been looking at risk assessment. You will get more of that personal assistance that you may need to help guide you in terms of managing those pennies, thanks to our friends at Republic Bank.
Managing Those Pennies, brought to you with the good wishes of Republic Bank. We're the one for you.